Welcome back, my poets, to Poetry 101. Today we are talking about repeated phrases, which are phrases that repeat. There are two main ways that I think of repeated phrases being applied to a poem. There is option one, where the repeated phrase changes meaning throughout the course of the poem, and there is option two, where the repeated phrase ties together different thoughts within the poem itself. We'll be looking at two different poems, one for each example of this. It should be a pretty quick video. So first off, we are going to look at This Land Is Your Land. I had to pause because I couldn't remember if it was Your Land or My Land first, which you may know is a song. I'm not going to sing it because I don't know the whole melody. I guess I'm not a real American. And it goes, this land is your land, this land is my land. From California to New York Island, from redwood forests to Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I've roved and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. And all around me a voice was sounding, this land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining, and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling, and the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. This sign was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I see my people. They stood hungry. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land made for you and me? No body living can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. No body living can ever make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. Now, you may have noticed from the way the author starts and finishes, it starts with kind of happy-go-lucky, good times, we belong. And as it goes on, we get to that eventual, was this land made for you and me? I think the trespassing sign is a great example where it's like, okay, well, the sign pointed this way, the sign past the sign means, okay, this isn't made for us. But if you go from the other side, there's no sign, which means this side was made for you and me. And then the eventual question, is this land for you and me? Where we finally arrive at the stubborn, this land was made for you and me. Like, I'm going to stick my flag in the ground, we stay in kind of energy, which I think is really brilliant. Another example of this is, and I do have to check the title, I Shall Return by Claude McKay. I shall return again, I shall return, to laugh and love and watch with wonder eyes. At golden noon the forest fires burn, wafting their blue-black smoke to sapphire skies. I shall return, to loiter by the streams that bathe the brown blades of bending grasses, and realize once more my thousand dreams of waters rushing down the mountain passes. I shall return to hear the fiddle and fife of village dances, dear delicious tunes, that stir the hidden depths of native life, stray melodies of dim remembered runes. I shall return again, to ease my mind of long, long years of pain. So this one is more connecting separate thoughts into one thought. Every time he says, I shall return, it goes from one thought to the next. So we kind of start with vague emotion. So we are focused on the author and his perspective. So we're kind of thinking one person, there's some fire going up to the sky, and it's making him laugh, love, and he's watching with wonder eyes. Those are the different emotions. With the next I shall return, it's more emotion. So he's loitering, he's bathing, he's realizing, and the waters are rushing down the mountain passes. The next I shall return brings more people into the picture with the village dances. Well, you can't have a dance with only one person. I mean, not with that attitude, but you can't have a dance with one person, for being stereotypical. And we're talking about the different people. We also start the first sentence with I shall return again, I shall return. And the second to last sentence says I shall return again. Those are some very basic examples of how you can use one phrase repeated throughout a poem to either change the meaning of the phrase as the poem gets more serious or deeper or darker, or to tie together different, almost abstract thoughts into one cohesive poem. That is the assignment for today, is to pick one of those two options and write a poem. If you would like to share it with somebody, you can share it with me at officialjustinstrikes on Instagram. More videos over here. You can subscribe over here. I'll see y'all next week.